Good afternoon, good evening to some, and happy Tuesday. This is usually not my day to actually do videos and all of that, but I am doing that today because I did want to come to it with a message. Last week I did a live, so I'm gonna download that live and put it on my YouTube channel if Facebook permits me to do so. So the topic I'm coming here today with, it may be a range of topics, but I'm actually going to really gear towards this thing. And this is for the ladies. Is the man worthy or not? Is that man worthy or not? And I will not be here with you long. And I'm going to write this down later. Is the man worthy or not? The reason why I say that is we have a tendency of giving, as ladies, we have a tendency of giving some men too much of our time and consideration. In the dating stage, sometimes things can be overlooked. Let me turn this up really quick here. I don't know why I got it turned down. That way I can. Okay, that's good. So in the dating stage, we can overlook some things because we're actually having a strong like for a person. I know in my dating years, as I look back, I didn't pay attention to everything. Um, I found that I look back, I could say many people I dated, I didn't date a whole lot of people. Um, did not deserve my time at all. At all. They didn't. I thought they did because I was like, oh, I really like this person. Oh, they're so sweet. They're this, and that, and everything else. And then when the chips fall and where things scatter, you was like, oh man, I was like, they didn't deserve me. I thought they did, but they didn't. And that's what we have to really look at is um, how a person's actually treating you when in a dire situation. Let's just say somebody passed, somebody died, whatever else you may be going through in life, and that person is there for you. That's one thing. If they're there for you the good times, the bad times, or the indifferent. When even comes from dating to a relationship, are they there? Are they always like disappearing? Or they say, oh, well, I can't be around. I got this and that to do. I can't be there. Do you find them always not being there? That's another thing to think about. And that's another thing to look for when you are actually dating or in a relationship. Like, you truly have to look for those things because why? It is very important. You want somebody to be there for you. Your mate, your future spouse is supposed to be your, like, one of your greatest friends. Now, I don't believe that your spouse should be your best friend because there's some things that your best friend you would tell that you wouldn't tell your spouse. I don't believe that your spouse should have to know like your full sexual history as far as how many people you done slept with, how many people you done went dates on. I mean, like, who cares? I mean, you don't want to know about theirs. Why do you want to share about yours? I know sometimes as women we can blab at the mouth and just share too much. Um, Even to the point of like telling a man about what you've been through with a last previous relationship. Oh, well, he did this X, Y, Z, and then that person turn around and do the same thing to you. You didn't share it, they'll do the same thing to you. Um, I just want to bring that. But what I'm saying is, and I'm going to skip out around a little bit. There's been something going on with Ashanti, Nelly and Ashanti. Seem like some people have gotten the Nelly and Ashanti syndrome. Um, Many of your ex-journalists that you were with had the grass is greener syndrome. Now they're popping up out of the woodwork last year, year before, this year coming up. You haven't heard from them in months or even years, and here they come. Why are they coming to you? Why are they coming to you to spin the block? Um, as I mentioned, my message is that man worthy or not? Is that man even worthy of having a second chance in your life to begin with? Like, what actually happened for y'all to depart, to split, and say, oh, you know what? Peace out. Were you the dumper? Were you the dumpy? Did he really want you? Or did he really want what was in the street? You really have to look at that. You really have to be careful who you allow back in your lives, because from my experience, I've never taken an ex-boyfriend back for nothing. I have 3 kids. My oldest, she'll be 20. Well, they'll be 24, 23, and 22 this upcoming year. I have never took their dad back. And that was one that I really called myself loving and being stupid, a big fool. I was a big fool for him. He was not even one I took back. Now, he went to jail for 6 months. We were still together, so I don't really count that. But, excuse me, sorry. But if I actually go back, I should have just like dumped him and been done with him once he got locked up. Relocated and gave him all his personal items, all his stuff back. Relocated and just been done with him. But I didn't. Being stupid, like, oh, I love him and this is now I'm gonna wait for him. Oh, and then there was another girl who was calling me asking about him and where he was. He was very disrespectful, very disrespectful. So this is what brings to my point. I don't believe exes should not be able to get you back. I don't think they should be able to enter your lives as if nothing didn't happen. No. Many of you have been left with like lack of closure, was kind of confused, didn't even know the relationship was gonna be over, taking place, none of that. You didn't know nothing. And it was just sprung on you. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry guys. So it was sprung on you. They did whatever they want to do and they dipped. And that left you heartbroken. But once the heartbrokenness is done and over with, here they come. I've had a quick drink here. So here they come. After months, years. What are they at? Why are they coming back? Is that man even worthy of your time or not? Well, it depends on how that relationship ended. Like, was it a mutual agreement for you both as far as for growth? Or was it mutual agreement like, oh, hey, y'all not getting along, blah, blah, blah? Or is it because the dumper was playing the dumpy? And some men, they're not going to tell you why they dumped you for real, or why. Why would they? If a man is convicted and it's like, oh man, I lied to this woman, let me tell her the real truth about what went down. A lot of men aren't going to do that. So they feel like, oh, if I tell her the honest God truth, that's going to ruin her chances of wanting to be back with me again. That is very true. I apologize. I don't know why I'm yawning. So you got to really figure out, is that person, is he worth it or not? So from my experience, when I look back at relationships, I was a dumpy. And this is before I got married. So I was a dumpy dating this gentleman. About 6 months or so. I thought everything was good, but everything was not. It was seeming good on my end, but on his end it was not. And we split. He didn't want to continue on with the relationship. And shortly after, this person was already on a dating website, already dating, already doing all of that. Me, not me. I wasn't doing that. I was too busy trying to understand what happened, because it felt like a shock, like somebody had threw like a cold like glass of water in my face. I was kind of shocked by it. Reason why I was is this. Ooh, excuse me again. Um, so I was supportive, in all ways. Ministry with children. I have my own kids. I help with his kids. Um, I remember he needed help or assistance with getting back into college. Um, I loaned the money. Of course, he paid it to me back. I was loving, I was caring, all of that. Um, I was doing everything that I thought a woman should do for somebody she loved and cared for. Uh, and I say June was the brink, and pretty much he went ahead, said he didn't want to be with me anymore. He is saying that way, but he said in some way, I can't remember, but I do remember we were in a parking lot or something like that, and um, so we ended up splitting, and then he was just like, "Oh, okay, I want to come back." Then he ended up splitting out. See, when a man does the yo-yo thing with you, that means that man does not have like a strong emotional connection and bond with you. You were just like, and I later found out, um, pretty much, because like when you run into something like that, you need closure. So the person did state that they were not, at the time they met me, they were not ready for a stabilize, or better yet, a relationship. They were looking to play the field. They didn't really want anything serious. Excuse me. But that was not communicated with me. And had it been communicated, I was like, oh, well, you don't want nothing serious. And I'm like, well, I will just keep my options open. I'm not going to like fully dedicate myself to somebody if they're not all in like I am. I found that out, much later on. Um, was that saying from the horse's mouth, pretty much. And I was just like, oh, wow, really? So I was just like a placeholder. And they were just saying like, hey, you know what? If I found this, let's see what if I can do and find something better. So that's what happened with me. And that person was just emotionally unavailable. So they weren't connected to me. So that's the reason why they were able to do whatever they were doing, and, already going on dating websites. Actually, I already had one set up prior to departure. And I asked about that at the time, like, oh, I don't know what it was, but it's just like, you have to be very careful who you let back into your life, because it's like, why do you think back about that? Like, okay, well, you weigh the pros and cons. And you think like, wow, you may be in the same situation. And they may say, oh, wow, this is all that transpired. And this person, dated and didn't even think about me or coming back to me or nothing and all that kind of different stuff. And then, of course, the person ended up finding somebody, got married, all that kind of different stuff. But I just say all this to say, I'm just telling you my situation. I'm married, so it's just like when it comes to relationships, you have to be very careful as far as whether you want to let an ex back into your life. What are they going to bring to the table this time? What is it that they're going to do different that they didn't do last time? Like, you can say, like, oh, well, they were a nice person and all that, but what else? What else? What else do they have to offer? For any man, what else? What do men? You have to be very careful what the men have to offer. Can they offer you spiritual insight? Are they emotionally available? I mean, you have to look at a lot of different things when it comes to dating. A lot of different things come to dating. But as far as the exes, I don't recommend going back to them unless the reunion or it's God ordained. That's one thing. But if it's not, no, I don't recommend it. Because what'll happen is, like, exes, they be acting like, yeah, they care and all that kind of stuff, but they only do that to see if they can get you back. And once they get you back, usually they'll do you worse than what you did the first time. That's usually how that works. A lot of people don't talk about that. But those are some snippets I want to bring forth here today. Make sure who you invest your time and effort with, that the man is worth it. You don't have nothing to prove to no man who walked out on you, especially was on his part. You didn't have nothing to do wrong on your part. Your hands are clean. You don't owe nobody nothing. If anything, if you decide you want to go down the road with an ex, they owe you. They owe you because you didn't go seeking them out. They came seeking you out. So hold your treasure, hold your heart in God's hands, and don't allow nobody to make a fool of you. Ever. Don't let nobody make a fool of you. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Don't make nobody, no man make a fool of you. None of that. It's unacceptable, and it is not to be tolerated. It is not to be tolerated. And I feel like when it comes to exes, the reason why they appear and they show up is because the person that they replaced you with didn't measure up to who you are. And now they have issues and matters in that relationship and or marriage, and they want to seek you out because you are a place of peace and solitude. Your absence, your presence is powerful, but when it comes to your absence and being absent from someone, makes it all the greater. So that's just a snippet for today. Again, as I mentioned, whatever you decide, make sure you take God with you. Make sure you take God with you. And make sure that man is worth any sacrifices, worth anything. Make sure. Yes, dude. I'm coming from a place to where I'm trying to help people. But just don't take an ex back because he wants you to let things be done in decency and in order as well. So pray about everything. Seek God about every single thing. But I hope you all have a blessed evening and afternoon, because that's afternoon here. But as I mentioned, before you take an ex back, think about how it made you feel then, and truly ask them what it is that'll be different now. All right? God bless. God bless you all. Have a great day. Bye.